So I've always dreamt of achieving my goals and living up to the high standards that I'd set for myself. But I felt very insecure. So I never took action. I feared everything that came my way and doubted my capabilities. Because of it, I missed on the opportunities that were presented in front of me. As a result, I regretted myself so much. I regretted that I was being the way and acting the way that I was, which didn't really help me to get closer to where I wanted to be. There was a point where I looked into the mirror and I saw a 24-year-old stoned fuck who knew he could achieve more, but his habits and his behaviors weren't aligned to where he wanted to go. And of course I felt insecure. Of course I wasn't confident, and of course I doubted my capabilities. That moment made me so pissed off at everything that I was doing that it led me to taking aggressive action and aligning myself to the life that I wanted to live and actually book results towards getting closer to my goals. You know, you probably have heard it already, and that is the power of behavior, the power of your habits. Back then, the things that I was doing weren't aligned to the ideal version that I had written down for myself. The man that when I closed my eyes, that I could visualize being. Because what was I doing? I was smoking weed, playing video games, hanging around with people that I shouldn't be hanging around. Instead of putting in the time and effort into building up my skill set, I would run away when it would become difficult for me to stick with it. When I would notice that my skills and capabilities weren't where I wanted them to be yet. Although I desired more, I couldn't push through. I couldn't persevere. And I was always waiting for that perfect moment for me to come. Oh, I'm gonna wait until I feel a bit more confident before I can start doing it. Or I'm gonna wait when I am actually ready to quit smoking weed. Or I'm gonna wait when I'm ready to quit playing video games, because, you know, playing video games actually makes me feel good, and I have a friend that I play with, and it makes me feel less alone. But those things aren't who I want to be in the future. So every day that I don't do the activities and habits that get me closer to my goals, I'm actually making sure that my future self is depressed. And I am responsible for where he ends up at. And I don't want my future self to regret what he did in the past, because I right now am already regretful of what I did in the past, which led me to be in the position that I'm in right now. So that got me thinking, like, fuck, I have to do something about myself. And that's when I then started to act and align myself to the activities that I wanted to do, which back then I wanted to make music. And now with everything else that I do, when I feel insecure, when I feel doubtful, when I feel afraid, I don't allow it to be an excuse for me to not do it. Because over time, I learned that whenever I did act when I was afraid, whenever I did act when I was unsure, whenever I did act when I was doubtful, that's when I then started to feel good about myself. I felt confident. I felt motivated. I felt like I could take on the world. But how was that possible? In the morning when I woke up, I felt like I just wanted to shoot myself in the head because of all the mistakes that I've been making and the challenges that were laid on my plate for that day. But the fact that I pushed through those challenges, it made me feel good, it made me feel confident, it made me feel happy. What the hell is this? So I kept on doing it, and I kind of became addicted to showing up when I was afraid. Showing up when I was unsure, showing up when I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't allow my past to really dictate the future. So I started to disassociate from the man that I once was and started to look more towards the man that I wanted to be. I myself am a person who easily forgets what he's doing and where he wants to go. So in the beginning when I was doing this, I would miss out on the growth that I was making, and it would demotivate me. Because it's good that you have that in the moment, but there's a way to collect the data for yourself so that you can then eventually look back to it at the end of the week, for example, and tell yourself like, fuck, I did all of this in 1 week. Damn, that's a lot of progress that I made. And you write it all down. And that's called self-evaluation. It's something that I actually became addicted to, because it was a way for me to actually visually see all the things that I've done in that week that were aligned to me getting better and me getting stronger. Because you will have those days where you think like, I haven't done shit and I haven't been able to make as much progress as I want. But that's where the self-evaluation comes in, because when you do that every evening and you write down the things that you have done every day, at the end of the week you can then evaluate how what the progress is that you have made, and then you'll be like, fuck, I've actually done a lot. And this is so powerful because you allow yourself to be disassociated from your emotions. Our emotions can tell us that we haven't been doing good, that we aren't performing well, simply because we feel that we haven't been doing it. And so I have a weakness for that, to become persuaded by my emotions. So for me to stay in check and to stay on top of that, I have to self-evaluate so that I then can see like, fuck, okay, no, I've done something good. I have the data set up here. So there's nothing else that my emotions can tell about me, because there is proof that I have done that, what I said I was going to do. And I have been improving bit by bit, day by day, minute by minute. It was even a point in my life where I stopped doing this. And although I was putting in a lot of time and effort into developing myself, I didn't really feel like I was doing it. And so it made me feel a little bit lost. It made me feel a little bit insecure. It made me feel like I was just wasting my time, that I wasn't really booking progress towards the goals that I wanted to do. But ever since I started doing that again, just simply writing down a couple of things that I did today that were aligned to my goal, that I want to have for myself accomplished in the long term, made sure that I was okay, I'm on track, I'm doing the things that I have to do. When I didn't, I honestly just felt like my mental health was degrading, because you feel like you're stuck in this drag. You are in a vicious cycle of not developing. And that's the worst feeling. Because if you are ambitious, if you are driven to accomplish great things for yourself in your life, for your family, you have great aspirations, you really want to push forward, and you are pushing forward, but if you are susceptible to being persuaded by your emotions and then make strange decisions based on your emotions, because what do we do when we are unmotivated? When we see that we haven't been doing the thing that we are supposed to be doing? Well, when we feel like we haven't been making progress, we lose hope, we give up. That's pretty much the kind of life that you will live when you are susceptible to being persuaded by your emotions. So that's why this system is so powerful. Well, I call it a system because it helps me to stay on top of being aligned with my goals and making sure that I don't make stupid decisions simply based on the emotions that I experience, because I've done that too much. When I wasn't seeing progress, when I wasn't developing, that is when I was playing games, that is when I was smoking weed, that is when I was doing all the fucked up things that weren't helping me grow, because I thought to myself, why would I even put in the time and effort if I'm already fucking up, if I'm not seeing progress? So to stay on top of your emotions, to make sure that you are aligned, you can self-evaluate every day, and then at the end of the week, you can evaluate what you have done throughout that week, set a new intention for the upcoming week, which is aligned to the long-term goal that you have. And if you are struggling with finding your long-term goal, that's okay. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can just sit down and tell yourself this, 5 points that you want to accomplish within the next 5 years. Be realistic and also be a little bit outside of the box. That's okay. At the end of the day, what you want to do is to be able to align yourself to taking action in achieving the goal that you have, regardless of how you feel. Because when you are doubtful, when you are insecure, when you don't have confidence, it's so easy to be persuaded by those emotions when you actually want to visually see the progress that you are making every day. Being insecure, being doubtful, being afraid is an emotion. It's something that you feel. And sometimes it's a physical thing that you experience. But the way that you handle it, the way that you act with it, that is where the power lies in. So with everything said, I want to wish you a very productive day ahead of you. By the way, in the comment section below, I have a pinned comment where I'm giving you guys an opportunity to book a free one-on-one call with me, where I will go through your situation together with you, and I'm gonna help you as much as possible in setting up a routine for you so that you can stick to it and making sure that you are making progress towards the goals that you want to accomplish. So go do that right now, and always remember that you are 100% responsible for the results in your life. Make the hard decision today, and I'll see you in the next one. All right? Bye-bye.